welcome to another video for you. Today we've got an Alpina Startimer Heritage GMT. I'll leave the product code below the video so you can look it up. They basically do this in I think 3 or 4 different colorways. This particular one is one of my favorites. Just that beautiful rich blue dial really adds to the whole feel of the watch, I feel. But absolutely stunning from Alpina. These are going out on our watch club at the moment for like $519. So with an MSRP of around $17.90, it's a fair saving, and it's been really well received by members. We're putting a few of these into rotation every month. Just very high value but gorgeous watch. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about this, pros and cons, things I like and don't like. I'll also do a quick wrist check. Today we've got an Alpina 4 chronograph, one of my favorite ones. You can't really see the blue in the dial in this light, but it's an absolutely gorgeous rich blue chronograph watch. Just love Alpina, one of my favorite brands, always has been in the last few years really. So I'm really excited to be able to look at this review and bring these watches to you guys. So first up, as you look down on the watch, we have the GMT function. You'll notice that the center of the dial has that little arrow that I'm just kind of pointing to. That's the GMT hand. So that's what points. The whole center of the dial turns, and that arrow points to whatever R it is. To manage the GMT bezel, then we've got this top crown, which is a screw down, pops out. It actually doesn't pop, it's very smooth. And then you set the GMT. This is a true GMT. So you basically put it where you want it to be. Once you're ready, pop it in and tighten the crown and you're good to go. This particular one is powered by, I think it's a base Sellita SW330, so that GMT workhorse movement from Sellita. Higher beat, beautiful sweep of the seconds hand, as you can see. They do regulate in-house, so I think they call it the AL555, and that's what the product code starts with. So that's what powers this. We do have a date window in this one, but the showstopper in this, for a start, is that dial, that beautiful sunburst dial. It kind of looks different colors, different shades as the light hits it, which I think is just beautiful. But you have that lovely metallic effect for the most part, depending on where the light hits it. We've got Alpina 1883 Genève up top, applied indices across the board in that lovely gloss polished finish with the tips which are loomed. As I said, we've got that date wheel with the frame, we've got the GMT function on the bezel. The case is really something to behold because you'll see it here at the top, this brushed effect, beautiful sunburst effect there, or sun ray, I'll keep mixing them up, sun ray effect, just kind of brushing out, very well engineered, beautifully polished, there's not an imperfection on it, just really well done. And then around the outside you've got these bevels which are polished and kind of start thick on the top of the lug, go thinner towards the crowns, and then out thicker again. So it just creates this lovely light catcher effect with the different brushing and polishing finishes. And then on the case side, we've got a horizontal brushed finish as well, which just adds another angle to it, which I think works really well. As I say, the crowns here, you've got the GMT up top, which is kind of like an industrial kind of checkered finish. And then we've got the Alpina logo stamped on the time crown, so it'll set the actual time and the date within there. And that's kind of the head of the watch. As I say, it's powered by the Sellita SW330, which is the AL555 in their Alpina list. This one comes on mesh, which I'm not a huge fan of. I just never have been. And I wish that they had provided maybe a leather band on this. They do on some of the other models, so fair play. It's a little bit different with this finish, and it is a very high quality mesh as you would expect. It's just not really my kind of look. I don't really like those mesh finishes. In between the lugs then is another little bit of anomaly. It's 23 mil, which is kind of odd because the case is supposed to be 42 mil. Probably wears more like a 42, maybe even down to a 41 based on the top to toe lug measurement. I think it's around 47. But you see here as we do a bit of a wrist check, it wears really well, because of the top to toe lug measurement. It just curves around there. That kind of cushion case just means that there's kind of wrist top and bottom, which is very, very wearable, super comfortable case on it. Just looks really good, very well made. I think one of the other things to say is how shallow the dial is. So if you think from the crystal, it's got a sapphire crystal here, a little box crystal that you can see there. But from the top of that down to where the dial is, you'll see how thin it is, how shallow. So we have this very, very shallow sweep on the GMT inner bezel, and then it's just all dial and hand kit. So, I mean, I don't know how they did it so low profile, but you'll see there it's quite impactful when you see it, especially on the wrist. You know, by contrast, this one has a lot more depth to it, as you can see. But it's something that really stood out to me when I first saw it. Just the shallowness of the dial there and the way they've engineered it is really, really impressive. Around the back then, and the side profile, as I say, is not a very thick case, which, you know, for a GMT at this level is exceptional engineering to be able to fit it into a thin case. I think it's like 13 mil or something, 13, 14 mil max. And it really is impressive. And the case back then, we have the usual. I really would love it if Alpina would do exhibition case backs, but it's not really their thing for the most part. They do it on some of their heritage lines. But on this one, we've got the Alpina, the mountains, and then the kind of jet, and then the logo. So it is a lovely case back all the same. You got the model number there, a bit more information, yada yada, all kind of boring stuff, but it's quite a classic case back for sure. Clasp is nice on the bracelet. Again, I wouldn't go for mesh myself, but it is well made, well engineered, high quality, all that good stuff. But the real showstopper is that dial and the head of the watch, the way it's been engineered, polished and brushed, the different angles, the kind of vintage vibe of it. And again, just to finish off on another wrist check, just very, very wearable, beautiful piece. That lovely rich dial is absolutely gorgeous. So hopefully that was of help, guys. Let me know if you have any questions on this one. This is the Startimer heritage line in that lovely blue rich dial, GMT movement, AL555. I'll leave the code down below so you can check it out for yourself. Let me know your thoughts when you get a sec. In the meantime, hope you've enjoyed watching. I'll see you in the next one.